Hi everyone, and welcome to another My Kids Locker COVID-19 Ed podcast episode. This is Victoria Wolders, your host, and today we get to share with you a wonderful empathy tale called The White Crystal Dragonfly. I think you'll enjoy the story that I created. Okay, well, we're going to move on to our part one, a mindful moment to listen. Enjoy.
To part one. Are you comfy? Are you cozy? Well, get ready to listen.
Here we are in part one. Today, we are going to focus on a quote that the Dalai Lama shared. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. I'll say it again. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Taking some time today to think about happiness. How can we respond to other people? Can we continue to be happy when others around us are struggling with that? Take some time to think about what happiness means to you. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions. Now, on to part two.
Hi everyone, welcome back to part two today. We are going to create something amazing and let's get crafty. Bye.
Here we are in part two, an opportunity for you to be able to listen to our empathy tale and also do an activity. So, today's activity, we're going to be focusing on bravery and courage. Yes, what does bravery mean? Well, it's the ability to confront pain or danger, where courage is more about the focus to undertake the overwhelming difficulty of pain. I'll say that one more time. Bravery means the ability to confront pain or danger, whereas courage is to undertake the overwhelming difficulty of pain. Take time to form notes of the story while we're going along. So while I'm sharing the story of the White Crystal Dragonfly, jot down some notes about the story, maybe about the characters. Try to write some points, some words, some sentences maybe, that describe the journey of the story. And then if you have an opportunity, draw a picture that might show your understanding. I hope that you enjoy this beautiful story called The White Crystal Dragonfly. Enjoy. 19. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in the land of the Open Eagle Kingdom, in the land of the Eastern Eagle, there lived a young girl, and the young girl had injured her hands in a fire at a very young age. She was unable to use her hands, but at people's drawings and artwork, and she'd admire them from afar. Her mother always used to say, I know you can't paint and draw with your hands, but what you can do is you can imagine and be creative. Well, the girl was one day walking on a bridge, and all these magical dragonflies were flying all around her. There were red ones and green ones and purple ones and pink ones, and all of a sudden, a crystal white one landed on her hand. She gently took her other hand and held the beautiful crystal dragonfly, and its wings were translucent and beautiful, and shimmer to it, looked sparkling and magical, and she looked at it very carefully, and all of a sudden it spoke to her, and it said, I know you have injured your hands, but I am willing to give you one wish. And that one wish You can do anything what you want. So she said, for me, really? Well, I would love to do artwork. She said, and the dragonfly said, well, I will give you what you want. Just close your eyes and make your wish, and your wish will come true. So at that very moment, she closed her eyes, held the crystal dragonfly, and she wished for her hands to be healed. And all of a sudden, her hands were healed. And as a young girl, this changed her life. She thanked the crystal white dragonfly and ran home. And she left the crystal white dragonfly on the edge of the bridge. She ran home. She said, Mother, I can draw art now. My hands, they are healed. So her mother brought out some paper, and the girl began to draw. From that day forth, she'd always draw and she'd paint. And people around the Oak and Eagle Kingdom came to know her as the Crystal Dragonfly girl, because she'd often draw pictures of dragonflies, and they were so intricate and beautiful. And what happened was, over time, she would draw pictures of people and landscapes and flowers, and she became quite well known in the area, so well known that she became prideful. And as she grew into a teenager and into a young woman, her paintings were found all over the Oak and Eagle Kingdom, in castles and princes, and kings and queens loved to adore her art. And she became quite wealthy, but not only that, also quite arrogant. And in time, she grew a hard heart. Soon, she started to become quite lonely. People didn't want to be around her. And she drew her art, but the art wasn't the same. People would often say, I don't have that much money to buy your art, so I don't think I can buy it. But if I give you just a little, would you give me one piece of art? She would look at them and say, no, my art is worth a lot more, and I'm not going to give any away. And at one point, she had so much money that her mother even became concerned. She said, you're spending your money foolishly, and you have become arrogant and prideful. You don't care for me anymore. And it seems to me that you don't show love and kindness in your art like you did. Well, the girl became quite prideful, and she realized that she was really lonely. She wanted to be around friends and people. She wanted to meet someone so that she could marry eventually, but no one would come around her because she became quite selfish. On her 18th birthday, she was walking across the bridge, and once again, the beautiful dragonflies started to swarm around her again. She was amazed by the beauty, and the white crystal dragonfly landed on her hand again. This time, she took her other hand, both of which were perfect, and held it close. The white dragonfly said, you know that your heart has hardened. You know that you are lonely because you chose to take my gift and chose to be greedy. You chose to take your artwork, and instead of giving it to those people who would celebrate it, you chose to keep it and only give it to the wealthy and the rich. The girl said, yes, I know, but I just want to be a better person now. And the white crystal dragonfly turned to her and said, you may have one more wish. It's your 18th birthday. And the girl looked at the dragonfly and said, I want to be a better human being. And at that very moment, her hands transformed back into her original hands. She looked at them and said, what have I done? And the white Crystal Dragonfly said, in your greediness, you have asked to be a better human being. But I know this is the only way that you can be a better human being. Be grateful for the gifts you have. Be grateful for the talents you have. That will be your key to happiness. She looked at him and said, I don't understand. I've wished for the wrong thing. He said, I don't believe you have. Take your paintings and your gifts. Take your heart that was once hard and soften it, and care for your mother. Show kindness to others. Celebrate other people's arts and show them what you've done in the past. With that, you will truly have a happy heart. As she looked at the white crystal dragonfly, she understood what he was saying and knew that she had to change in order for her to truly be joyful and content. She let the white crystal dragonfly go, and it flew off. And she walked home and embraced her mother and was grateful to her mother for being kind to her in those times when she chose not to be kind back. And the mother looked at her and said, whether you can draw art or not, I will always love you. And they both embraced. The end.
Hi everyone, it's time to innovate, part 3. Woo.
I hope that you enjoyed the story. And now we get to do an extension lesson, an opportunity to innovate. When was the last time you were brave? Well, take some time to write down the story. Share with me a little bit about what happened and how you were brave. Maybe it was something that you did for the first time. Perhaps you might even want to include other people in your story. I don't know, maybe some of your siblings or your parents that may have participated in when you were brave. Maybe you tried something out for the first time, like baking a new recipe that you'd never tried, and someone helped you. So today, for your extension lesson, your bonus lesson, take some time to write your story of when you were brave. I hope that you enjoyed today's podcast episode, and I hope I'll see you again soon at the My Kids Locker COVID-19 Ed podcast. Until next time, remember, less screens, listen, create, and innovate. Take care.